The US government has declared natural disaster zones across half of the country. 54 million people are affected, and it's threatening to force up food prices right across the globe.
This is America, land of the dry. Reservoirs evaporating, rivers barely moving, farmland cracked and parched by a persistent, stubborn drought. Today, the U.S. Department of Agriculture reports almost half of all the nation's counties have been declared disasters, having endured severe drought for 8 or more weeks this year.
The first 6 months of the year were the warmest ever recorded.
It's been so hot in Minnesota, even its famous lakes provide little relief, causing fish kills in at least 25 lakes.
Surveillance cameras rolling as a man suddenly drops into a sinkhole after the road collapses. This happened in Taiwan, and sadly, the man did not survive this. Rescue workers recovered his body hours later from beneath the debris. We're told that floodwaters from a nearby river weakened the road's foundation, and this is what happened. There's been a typhoon in the area, a slow-moving storm, in fact, that's blamed for the deaths of 23 people. Also, in another country, in the Philippines. So just
a local TV reporter covering the story had to flee when more of the same road began crumbling behind her.
Look at this car. Look at this car, just about swallowed. Two tires in there, dangling into the sinkhole. This is Brooklyn. A woman says she and her daughter were inside the car just 5 minutes before that sinkhole opened up. They got out to walk their dog.
A sinkhole that appears to be expanding prompted Governor Bobby Jindal to declare a state of emergency tonight in northern Assumption Parish. The order affects about 150 homes in the Bayou Corn area. Emergency managers say it's the fear of the unknown that prompted the evacuation order, but they're not sure how long it will remain in effect. Residents say for the past couple of months they've seen gas bubbles rise from the water nearly 1,900 feet from where the sinkhole formed. Officials say they're monitoring the sinkhole, but they call the evacuation because scientists are just uncertain of what the possible risks are.
We're on our probably 23rd hour, Dermot, of a red alert status. Red alert means that it is raining intensely, and intensely to a point where when I was reporting a couple of hours ago, I think I said it was about 3¼ meters of water. But to give you an idea, you know, that's about half the height of a human body in water that's fallen, and that's not over a long period of time. That's 24 hours. That's overnight, one day, basically.
Nine surrounding provinces have also been affected.
As hundreds of people are dead or missing.
scientists believe that this collapse is a sign of a much bigger problem. NASA says its satellites have recorded what it calls unprecedented surface melting. The white areas in these images show the surface ice in Greenland on July the 8th. But only 4 days later, something extraordinary happened. Almost all of it melted, exposing the deeper blanket of ice that covers the country. 97% of Greenland was affected. Even Greenland's coldest and highest spot was affected, something that hasn't happened since 1889. Ash and smoke billow into the air above Mount Tongariro on New Zealand's North Island, the aftermath of a volcanic eruption, the first here since 1897. Scientists say they'd noticed increased seismic activity below the mountain for weeks. It's too early to say whether this is a one-off or the start of a new cycle of activity.
We are under siege. The coast is booming. Big swells are just pushing through this bay. Through the tide and the waves are up about 5 or 6 foot, and the vigorous winds are just pounding the New South Wales coast. Showers going sideways, winds knocking towards 100 kilometres an hour. Now, why is this happening? Why have we had 106 km/h winds across Sydney Harbour today? 102k across Newcastle. Out to sea, it's a whole different story. The ocean is putting on a show. 7-metre wave heights.
A king tide has caused massive erosion on Gold Coast beaches, washing tons of sand back into the ocean. The tide, coupled with powerful swirls, left sand cliffs towering as high as 5 metres in some places.
Rod, the erosion is so bad, 8 beaches had to be closed this morning.
All evidence of last night's big surf and high tide.
I haven't seen something like it. Never remember.
The sea carved 5-metre cliffs from main beach to surface paradise.
The drop's unbelievable.
At Nobby Beach, the protective rock wall is almost fully exposed.
I never thought the day would come where I have to tiptoe across the rocks at Nobby's Beach to go for a surf.
And that has council engineers worried.
That's sort of your last line of defence.
There's an Arctic storm going on as well as an Antarctic storm. They're seeing significant changes in the Una-Bremen sea ice concentration map. That large patch of sea ice in the East Siberian Sea is almost entirely detached from the main ice pack. This is something never seen before. It's unprecedented in the satellite era. We have speculated a lot about this in previous melting seasons, but now the moment seems to have finally arrived.
The sinkhole grew overnight.
Infrared equipment shows it's 10 to 20 feet wider. The sinkhole expanded to the north and south.
The summer of wild weather, the hottest July on record, crippling drought in half the country, and now tropical storms are bringing epic rains to the East Coast.
Well, the earth is shaking in Southern California. At least 30 quakes striking since Tuesday night. Just yesterday, 4 mid-sized quakes hit. They were centered near and around Orange County. The strongest, a magnitude 4.5. You definitely can feel that. And it was felt across a wide swath of that region. Recent studies have suggested that a swarm of smaller quakes sometimes comes before a big quake.
A pair of strong earthquakes, both measuring more than 6.3 on the Richter scale, has leveled at least 6 villages in northwestern Iran and damaged dozens of others. Iranian state TV has reported a heavy death toll.
Scientists now say radiation from last year's collapse of the Fukushima nuclear plant in Japan is causing genetic mutations in butterflies found near the area. But because insects are believed to be highly resistant to radiation, scientists say the findings are somewhat shocking.
Jamaica Beach police say there are actually thousands that washed up all across the island overnight.
I grew up in this county for the last 50 years. I've never seen anything like it.
Ferocious fires light up the night sky in the Canary island of Tenerife.
This one of many blazes to break out across Spain because of a severe summer heat wave.
Wildfires in 10 states, 62 fires, flames 15 feet high, families on the run. And this year alone, an area the size of New Jersey has become scorched earth.
We stand for the national anthem of the United States of America.